So, wow, of course.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Solilocheese.
So I'm really sorry I didn't make a video on Monday, but I was kind of swamped with finals, and it was Mindy's birthday. Had a lot going on. Shit. I don't think I'll have a chance to ask a question today. I'll ask one on Monday for sure, because a lot of questions that I have to answer from each of you. So, BTW, here's my orange that I'm contributing. Nick, not too long ago, a boy in Nick's school district committed suicide, and basically what we're trying to do this week is to honor him by wearing orange, because it was his favorite color. So, that's my orange. Anyways, let's get right to the questions. Megan's question from a couple weeks ago, was, what is one of your biggest unpopular opinions? Well, since I have very hipster tendencies, there are a lot of unpopular opinions that I have. This sounds very hipster of me, but I am really sick of William Shakespeare. I really don't like him. The reason why I kind of have grown to hate him is because actually I took a class based off of Shakespeare. Well, one, I think it was kind of in part that, although this isn't completely Shakespeare's fault, the teacher wasn't really a good teacher, first off. If you notice, all of his plays are pretty much the same. If it's a comedy, everyone gets married in the end. The main girl always dresses up as a boy. And if it's a drama, then of course, as you know, pretty much everyone dies. Basically, he repeats a lot of formulas. A lot of his plays in the first place were plagiarized. Romeo and Juliet was taken from the original story Tristan and Isolde. He never gave the person credit. Even though a lot of professors, English professors, consider him classic, his style of writing is one of the biggest no-nos that any good writer should understand, is that you show, don't tell. He does a lot more telling than showing. I understand that in a play, especially during that time, it was a little more difficult to do showing of certain things. All of the major plot points happen off screen, or off stage. But I'm not exactly sure why he chooses that, or if he's just too lazy. And I understand that when he first wrote, he didn't really have much to work with back then, and it was like, you need to have a lot more imagination, but still, he does a lot of showing, not telling. A big example of this is that all the characters that fall in love, they kind of fall in love off stage, or they fall in love almost immediately. You don't really actually see development of their relationship on stage. Just all of a sudden they happen to be married, and you're like, what? For instance, most of the time, like the secondary characters in Shakespeare's comedies end up getting together somehow at some point. An exception to this probably would be Midsummer Night's Dream. There was actually quite a lot of character development in that, which was a good play. Maybe stop texting me! What's really interesting about Shakespeare's pieces, the only thing that I say I can like about it, is you can get a lot of interpretation from his pieces. That's what's kind of interesting about that, is how open-ended his pieces are, and then it brings a lot of creativity and artistic license into it when people adapt Shakespeare's plays. But other than that, I really hate him. The second one was, what character from a book series would you want to marry? Because Megan is absolutely obsessed with Peeta Mellark. Speaking of the Hunger Games and speaking of Peeta Mellark, I actually would say the character that I would want to marry from a book series, I would go with Gale Hawthorne. Not saying that I think Katniss and Gale should have ended up together, because I definitely don't think they should have ended up together. I really think that Peeta and Katniss go well together because of how they complement each other. What I didn't like about Katniss and Gale being together was because they were too similar in personality, and they would drive each other nuts, I would just imagine. That's why I don't think they should be together, but I think me and Gale should be together because he's smoking. Not the movie portrayal of him, because the movie portrayal of him, yes, Liam Hemsworth is definitely an attractive man, but he just didn't play a very good Gale. I hope maybe we get to see more of him in Catching Fire and Mockingjay, and we actually get to see him be a good Gale, but so far I'm not really feeling it. I really liked Gale's character in the books, and I really thought from what was described, he was very passionate and he seemed very sexy, so hit me up. I know you're lonely without Katniss, but you can have me. On to Nick's questions. The first question Nick has is, what was the event that led you to getting on Solilocheese? So I would say that, as everyone knows by now, they must know that it was me who came up with the idea, because if you look at one of my older videos, I actually proposed the idea for a collab channel. I think what really kind of like the event that led me to that was meeting Chris. He was probably one of my very few friends that actually was as much into YouTube as I was, and it was thanks to him that I actually got the guts to start making YouTube videos in the first place. The other question, which is a really sweet question, which is something that you like about each member of Solilocheese. Starting off with Megan, I know that Kika already said this, but I love your hair. It is so beautiful all the time. Every video, your hair always is looking great. And I don't know about brushing your hair because that's a little creepy. I just am always looking at your hair and going, damn, your hair is looking beautiful. Superficial answer, but yeah. About Natalie. I really like how you're always in a good mood. I feel like every video I've ever seen you in, you're always kind of like bursting with energy. For Nick, I always really like the funny faces that you make in your videos. I think your faces are really hilarious. And yes, you always make funny faces or funny sounds, like you're like, yeah. And I love it because that's just a little bit of me that I see in you. And as for Kika, I think you have a really great sense of humor. I know you were saying like yesterday that you don't have a good sense of humor, but I don't know where you got that because your sense of humor is great. It's like that kind of really weird, creepy humor that works. Yes, it's what makes you charming. Yes, it is. So on to Kika's questions. His first question from a couple weeks ago was, how long does someone have to be dead before you can make fun of them being dead? I know! They try to make me go to rehab, but I said no, no, no. You can be in this video if you want. It's okay.
I'm so lonely.
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you, because that was like the weirdest question in the world. That's why I love you! Right? What was the worst movie you've ever seen? Oh, the worst film you've ever seen. What's the worst film you've ever seen, Kelsey?
I told you, Cat in the Hat.
She is stupid. That's what I had to say about that, because that is an amazing movie. The worst film I've ever seen. I'm wondering if my boobs are like really... Because, yeah. My boobs...
I'm trying to find you a lady friend.
Yeah. So, you know, hey, women out there, checking out my boobs. Okay. Worst film I've ever seen is the movie called Dragon Wars. I don't know if everybody knows that movie, but it's a really... It's so bad it's funny. Like, it's one of those movies that it would be a good idea to go... What are you doing? The worst film I've ever seen is a movie called Dragon Wars. It's one of those movies that's so bad it's good. Like, you could have a movie night with a bunch of friends and enjoy it because it is so fucking terrible. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it other than just go see it. A long time ago, like, when I first saw the film, like, me and my friends were all excited about it, Chris among them, and we went all to see it, and it was so bad when we saw it in theaters, but it was so bad, we just couldn't leave, and we loved it, and it was amazing because it was so bad.
You're amazing.
Thanks. This is the part where we make out. I don't know how many minutes I'm running on. I'm imagining that I'm going to have to cut down a lot because I've answered a lot of questions. So, let's roll out then.
I gotta leave
You can
now.
say your goodbyes. Oh, or not. Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.